Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Let's just lower that down just a little bit. Not much news. Everything now is expectations or lack thereof. Tuesday, Geneva. I personally think nothing is going to come from it. One can never know. But now there seems like there's a little compromise coming from their end. I'll believe it when I see it or hear it. Again, stalling for time. We're stalling for time for a different reason. They're stalling for time. Like they always stall for time. So now they're saying that the highly enriched uranium is on the table to be moved, but they're not agreeing to zero enrichment. That is not on the table still. Forget about the missiles and the proxies and everything else, just based on nuclear. And they're also offering some kind of an economic package to the United States, accessing oil. I'm like, where is this coming from? Oh, and another stipulation. All sanctions must be lifted against the country of Iran. Ah! Never gonna happen. It's never going to happen. You're gonna give up that? Full access by IAEA to all nuclear sites? Good luck with that. They've been trying for that for decades. There are actually 3 or 4 locations that go back to the early 2000s that they have no idea where any of that material or equipment ever went. How do I know? Because I read the report from the IAEA. There is actually missing material and equipment. Before we heard about all these plants that you always hear about, well, there was others. And they have no idea where any of that material ever went. Did you know that? You should. Because we hear about what's going on more in recent times, but they have a history here. Iran has a decades-long history of not cooperating when it comes to their nuclear program. That is fact. That cannot be denied. So that's why in the description, it's unlikely. It is highly unlikely. I mean, like really unlikely there's going to be a deal here. The likelihood is confrontation. Now, like I said, that doesn't even include Israel's perspective when it comes to their missile program or the proxies. They've been doing their part, definitely, if you look at Hezbollah. I mean, I seen the explosion video that took place weeks ago. It was a video that was right near the explosion. Oh my gosh, it was huge in Lebanon. And it was, they hit a major depot, because this thing it lit up the entire area. And you could see the shock waves from when the person was filming it. It was massive. Good afternoon, Andy and Tammy. Good morning. What time is it? It's almost 10:30. So what is that? 3:30 in the UK almost? 3:23 p.m. in the UK. So hello to those in the UK. But I'm not going to sit here and exaggerate the numbers for yesterday's rallies, because I'm seeing some pretty, I mean, the numbers that some people are putting out there is like, I don't know if that's true, but they look highly exaggerated in some cases. I'm like, what? Over 500,000 in Toronto. Really? Maybe it's true. Not sure. But let's get to some of those videos that occurred around the world. Just a few, because we've seen quite a bit yesterday as they were going on. So let's go right to this one first. This is Munich again, highlighting Munich. really amazing. Outstanding. The people that came out and really the support. Now they did have the conference there, so there were a lot of people there that could speak. Like Reza Pahlavi spoke, Lindsey Graham spoke, quite a few others spoke at this rally. So that's pretty cool. And do we hear of any violence at any of these protests? As a matter of fact, in one of them, it wasn't actually protest. This was a rally. Let me correct myself. This is not protest. This is a rally for the Iranian people and freedom. But there was one instance where the people that were attending were handing flowers to police officers. And the police officers were like, with big smiles, how polite people were and respectful, handing individual roses to the police officers. That was a beautiful thing. Beautiful to see that. Peaceful. Again, this was pro-rally. People might label this as protesters. Yeah, they are against the regime. You could maybe swing it that way, but a lot of people were just there for the positive vibe, support of the Iranian people and regime change, period. So you might view this in any particular way. Is it a rally? Is it protest? Is it both? It's a combination. Because they're voicing their opinion and support for the Iranian people. The opinion is the regime must go. And of course, the support of the Iranian people. Many of those people that attended these rallies were Iranian. Not all, because we could see it here, the global support for the people. All right, let's go to another clip. I believe this could be LA. I think this was LA. LA had a big turnout. There were rallies everywhere. Chicago, Boston, New York City. There was one in New York City. I was surprised. There were so many rallies all over the world, all over. Places you would be like, what? It was like that. It was a global day of unity in support of the people of Iran. Help is on the way. I'll play it again. I believe this was LA. I may be wrong. It could be. Yeah, there's US flags. I don't see Canadian, so I don't think this is Canada. I think this is LA. I'm pretty sure it is LA. Let's see another one. This was in New Zealand. Look at that. New Zealand. Wait, there's another. Chicago. All over. Good morning, Richmond. And Tammy and Helmet and everybody coming in there. Brusky. So yeah, look at this, Chicago. There were rallies everywhere. You combine it, literally millions of people came out in support of a free Iran. Millions. So that's super impressive. It really is. Now, there's a couple of articles I'm going to pull up. Here, this is what I was talking about when I first started. An openness about their highly enriched uranium, but when it comes to zero, no way. The president made it clear. No enrichment. He said it the other day twice. Zero enrichment. No enrichment. So this right there is non-starter. It's not going to happen. Because they want to be able to produce for medicine, science, nuclear power. We're saying, oh, hell no. It's zero or nothing. The president has stated this numerous times, as recent as a couple of days ago. So they can play this game. They are not in the position. They are not in the position to negotiate. They are in a position to accept what the president is offering. That's it. And I don't know if there's anybody that is confused by that. This is not a negotiation. This is what we're telling you. In order for you to even survive, you must accept these terms. There's no wiggle room. I don't think there's any wiggle room here. It's zero or nothing. No. We're not negotiating on that. And that's all they want to talk about. We all know that. Nuclear. Israel is standing by like, really? But they already had a conversation. There's a lot of talk out there that I was reading earlier this morning before I came on, that they already have a plan. They're playing good cop, bad cop. They already have a plan of what's going to come next. This is all part of that 4D chess. Oh yeah. And now Iran is saying, oh, U.S. will buy planes from you. Oh, what? Wait, whoa. You got to see the post. It's like ridiculous. They're willing to buy planes from us? Are you insane? We're going to sell you our planes? Oh, we'll give you access to our oil and everything. All of a sudden, this is what's coming out. I don't know if it's true or not. Are you crazy? They're desperate. They're desperate to stay in power. They know it. Look at this one says. Iran's top military officer asks why Trump speaks of negotiations if he wants war. And then he said, oh, they're inflated. Look, Iran lawmakers says Munich crowd inflated by nearby event. Look at this. Is so ridiculous. What was the nearby event? The Munich conference? I mean, look at this. This is so stupid. And believe me, Iran International does excellent. They're just putting this out there. They're not like saying they support this. They're just saying these are the stories coming out about the rallies. Oh my gosh. But he warned U.S. President Donald Trump that any conflict with Iran would be a lesson for him. He will enter a battle that will serve as a lesson, the outcome of which will ensure he no longer blusters on the world stage. No, what's going to happen is all of you people are going to either disappear, be held accountable, and stand trial by the Iranian people, or you're going to flee to another country seeking asylum, like maybe Russia, maybe France. France is always an option, right? These days. Macron will say, come on over. Come hang out with me. I don't even want to talk about the UK. I'm sure our UK friends in chat right now probably think the same way. Like, what? No, don't bring them here. Not to the UK. We have enough problems we got to deal with right now. So this is laughable. This is laughable. I want to see what else they're putting out there because, oh, you know what? I don't know what kind of game he's playing, the president of Iran, because he's already not seeking re-election, whatever. And he's going against the grain. And I don't know if he's doing this to make himself look like a moderate in Iran. And there's a chance of, in his mind, that he could be part of some kind of transition moving forward, or maybe have relations with Reza Pahlavi moving forward in some kind of a transitional situation. I don't know what his game is, but he's been saying a lot of interesting things. Do I trust it? Absolutely not. But he's been showing empathy and sympathy for the people who suffered. He has. And he didn't just do this recently. He's been doing this for a few weeks, believe it or not. He has, to be fair. And people were like, whoa. But said the January unrest was unimaginable, arguing that authorities cannot solve the crisis by papering over the problem. Now, he's being very careful when he says things, because he might be referring to the economy, the people are frustrated. You know, he's going down that route, but he's also bringing it to attention. He said public sentiment has been deeply harmed, saying the prevailing mindset in society has taken a wound. It's more than a wound. This is more than a wound. I mean, like I said, they want to minimize it. And yeah, I saw a video of this. I didn't want to show it. Families honor slain protesters 40th day. That's significant in Iran, the 40th day. Just horrible. Yeah, you guys got to see that. I got to show you the article about that, about the deal that they're trying to offer with economy. And I saw military planes. What? Wait, what? I know it's early in the morning, but did I read that right? What's up, Red Bull? Dusty, good morning. Dusty, you need to go to the other place with everybody else. Good morning, Tammy. On the other tube. Why am I saying it like that? I'm not on TikTok. You guys should, well, you know where to go. I'm just going to read a little bit more. Yeah, that's the video. I mean, we could play it. It's an X video. The 40th day, morning. But they do so with music, everything else. It was a memorial for a 22-year-old athlete. Irfan Borzorgi. That's so sad. That is so sad. And more. I mean, okay. This is not part of what I was looking at. I'm going to find it. You guys won't believe it, what they're saying now. Let me go find it. But there isn't much coming out. Everybody's waiting to see what happens in Geneva. I think that's what's basically going on at this point. All eyes are now on Geneva. I don't know why. This is it. This is it. I don't see any more talks after this. This is it. I'll be shocked. Let's see. I forgot what outlet reported it. Goldie's saying that over 570,000 people attended the Global Day of Solidarity for Iran in Toronto. 0 incidents. This is what she's posting. Any word on Tutsi? Instead, Iranians were cheering and thanking police. So this is a post that Goldie put. Right here. Over 570, I just read it. Here's the clip. Officers, they're just walking around doing their job, making sure everything is secure, safe. Do you see any stress in those officers' faces but smiles? What's the difference? Look at that. Look at that. How peaceful. How beautiful that is. So look at that. I'm gonna let it play again. Goldie posted this. Look at this. Nothing from Tuesday. He might have been flying home. Look at look at the police officers with smiles on their faces. People are greeting them and they're smiling. This is what it's about. Look at that. That's awesome. Look at smiles. They got smiles on their faces. Look, smiles. What a different picture that sets. Good on Goldie for getting that, because that's important. And like I said, there's so many clips. We showed a lot of them yesterday. The aerial view. Now, what? I'm gonna just. This is just another post by another. This is the other side, just so you know. This is the other side. This is one of their posts. Russian Air Force cargo planes continue to deliver Mi-28 attack helicopters to Iran. The helicopters meet the standards used by Russian military and are not downgrading export versions. So they're saying they're getting the real deal. What are those helicopters for? What do you think those helicopters are for? You think those helicopters are to deter or defend against U.S.? Or are they going to be used to deter people coming back out again in numbers? These are attack helicopters. They're going to use those helicopters on their own people. That's what I think. I don't know what all of you think. I think that's what they're getting them for. For crowd control? Actually using those attack helicopters on the people of Iran. How much you want to bet? I think the probability of their use in that way is high. High. I mean, that's alarming. And that's coming, like I said, from the other outlet. I'm just showing you. I'm trying to see. Oh, here it is. It was not military planes. That was my fault. Well, this one corrects it. The other one did say it. It's not military planes. It is passenger planes. Because, I mean, they have an old... This is it right here. And this is coming from the other side again. Excuse me. Iran will open certain economic sectors to U.S. companies as part of an upcoming deal. The Deputy Prime Minister stated that Iran oil and gas fields and mining investments would be open to U.S. companies. Tehran also plans to purchase more than 100 passenger airplanes. Total economic activity could exceed $500 billion. So now they're trying to buy their way out of it. Now they're trying to buy their way out of it. By like, oh, the president's always talking about oil and gas and the economy. Well, maybe we can convince him on a deal that he can make here. Money. Let's see if he'll take that part of the deal. Money. Good luck. You see what they're trying to do now? You've been thinking about that since the first time you seen those helicopters too? They continue to come in. So now they're trying to buy their way out of this, like throw some kind of an economic bow on top of it. It ain't gonna work. Because the president might say, well, under new leadership, that'll happen anyway. Right? And more. Think about the global investment. And I mean global. Because a lot of people say, oh, the United States is going to grab their oil and like what they said, their gas and whatever else. Think about what could possibly happen in Iran, the boon of the economy for tourism, for merchants. I mean, think of all those companies out there that would love to open up a store in Tehran, which would provide jobs for the local Iranian people. It could be a boon for the country to come out of the darkness into the light. A lot of opportunity once those doors open for the people of Iran. So, and they're going to need a lot of help with their infrastructure. A lot of help. Because it's old, a lot of it, and outdated. Like the planes, for example. They're going to have to do something. Engineers like we have here in the United States the Army Corps engineers, like what happened with Katrina when they were there. Well, we're going to have to help. Somebody's got to help them. It's got to be a global international outreach to help them with their infrastructure, water, their farms, irrigation, power, because there's no reason why international community can help them rebuild, reestablish, modernize their infrastructure. There's no reason. None. So hopefully all that will happen. But this issue is not going away, no matter how Iran deals with this. It's not going away. The economy is done. What are they going to do? With more sanctions being put in place? Now they're going after their oil? I mean, what are they going to do? And it's the people who suffer. The regime don't suffer. It's the people that suffer. They're going to make sure they're okay. And regime members, people in the family, work for them. All that. That's why they don't want to see the regime go. Because they got connections to the regime. And they're making a life for themselves by the regime. So, of course, they don't want to see them go. They're happy. They're happy. And then, of course, the Islamic aspect of it all. Of course, that's a part of it. But change is a-coming. I don't know if we took a poll. I bet you a lot of people think it's coming. And I know we deal with this every day. The Iranian people are frustrated. They want help. It is coming, but it's got to be done right. But it is coming. I truly believe that by the end of the month, it's coming. Like I said, Tuesday is not, it's a nothing burger. Nothing's going to come from that. And the president is like, it has to happen quickly. He's giving them a month. This is not something that's going to be prolonged and pushed down. Oh, we'll meet next week. No. We already been here, done that. And he even said it. They keep talking. They've been talking for decades. He said that the other day. He knows the deal. He's not going to be played. He's not going to be played. He knows the game. They like to play games. He knows this. Well, if they think he's going to play games, they are really miscalculating that. They are really miscalculating that. Let's see, we're going after Iran's oil to control what China gets. This allows us to put economic pressure on China without having to use military pressure or pressure with trade deals. Yeah. They're doing the blockade and they're sanctioning. I saw that with the oil. But you're trying to cut off the IRGC's money supply. That's what it comes down to. Because a lot of that revenue goes to the IRGC and to the regime, not to the people. That is their money. Economic lifeline is the oil. That's basically what it is. And again, it's been made very clear that this is not going to prevent China or any other country from getting oil in the future. Reza Pahlavi made that statement. So don't focus so much on the oil. The oil, yes, to cut off revenue going to the IRGC, but moving forward, China's not going to be cut off of oil under a new transitional government. They are not. They're going to be a customer just like everyone else. And Reza Pahlavi already stated that. So we just got to, like I said, we just got to see how this plays out. Because there's really nothing now. The rallies were yesterday, was tremendous. Millions of people around the world, really, millions, in support of the people of Iran. And, of course, there were many Iranians out there. But this is laughable. This really is laughable. That they're trying to offer some economic deal to U.S. companies. This is laughable. That shows you how desperate they are. Because they want to remain in power. We can't, even the president says, regime change is best. He's not tolerating this. And look at, I mean, some of the people that are pro-regime. Remember the 47th anniversary? Guess how many people they're claiming turned out throughout the country? 26 million. It's laughable. It is so laughable. But this is what's going on out there. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. And like I said, they are really, really bombarding social media platforms. They must have like thousands of these people posting stuff and continually to post so it's trending on the top on X. I mean, they must have stopped playing their video games and now they're being used to do all this. You know what I mean? That is a desperate plea bargain, really. It is desperate. That just goes to show you, though. Let's see if anything's going on Telegram. I need to start a fire. It's chilly in here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Spot the difference. Oh, that's adorable. A little girl, I'm not going to show it, but a little girl giving a police officer a flower. Adorable. She's waiting for the police officer. I got to download this. They're showing you the difference between, it's a split screen. It is adorable. She's waiting for the police officer. This is adorable. So this is Muslims in Toronto, and the other side is Iranians in Toronto. That's the what they tried to show you. The difference between the two. Check this out.
هیچ وقت ما رو حذف نمیشه کرد به رنگین کمون سنگ نمیشه زد میرسه پایان شب سپیده دم به زور قلبا رو فتح نمیشه کرد زخمایی که میشونیم ما ادامه داریم هیچ وقت ما رو حذف نمیشه کرد به رنگین کمون سنگ نمیشه زد میرسه پایان شب سپیده دم به زور قلبا رو فتح نمیشه کرد زخمایی که میشونیم.
It's almost as if he's saying to the little girl, would you like to sit in the car? Look at the difference. That speaks volumes. That is adorable. That's adorable. I mean, really, that'll definitely bring, at least the right side, brings a smile to your face. Wow. And here's another video of people that were out there in the rally. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Flowers to the police officers. That's awesome. That's awesome. What a difference, right? It's amazing. That's the heart out there. And then they're just going over some of the numbers. Oh my God. President Trump says he could reveal Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei location live on air. If I were the supreme leader of Iran, I would be afraid to sleep in the same place for too long. He must have just said this. This just came out. This came out like a half hour ago. The president said that. He must be doing something somewhere. If I were the supreme leader of Iran, I would be afraid to sleep in the same place for too long. He's telling him, I know where you are. They don't realize it's instantaneous. Done. They are so done. They're the ones doing a lot of talking and rhetoric. We got the missiles. We can hit Israel in 5 minutes. We can do this. We can do that. Keep talking. Just keep on talking. You'll find out soon enough if you were right or wrong. You know what I mean? Wasn't that nice though? That video with the little girl? That was beautiful. It's interesting because last night I did a stream only on TikTok. I was just hanging out. Kevin was there, but our friend Moses was there, and he lives in Serdot, right near Gaza. He said, Bill, in the middle of the stream, he tells us, there are explosions happening near my house. My house is shaking. I was like, what? There's no alerts coming on the phone. It can't be any kind of incursion or attack. I see a post from early this morning. After the ceasefire was violated last night and a terrorist cell exited the tunnel in Beit Hanoun, the IDF attacked several targets in Gaza overnight, resulting in 10 terrorists killed. That must have been what was going on near his house. That's unbelievable. He told us last night, my house is shaking from explosions. I was like, what? He goes, unfortunately, Bill, this happens all the time. 27 years I've been dealing with this. I can't sleep. Maybe he'll pop in chat today at some point. And hopefully Tusi will go live and give us a recap. Let me see what else is going on. Okay, they're just reposting the same thing the others are reposting. Yeah, and the last thing they posted was Israel. The wave of attacks I just mentioned. I'm going to show the video. So this is what the other side put out. Right here of strikes in Lebanon. This is the short video clip, but this is what they put out there, what was happening. And this is Lebanon. This is not Gaza. This is Lebanon, to be clear. Right there. Okay. Here's more coming out. This was yesterday. And the BBC, what is up with the BBC? Explain to me what's up with the BBC. This was posted yesterday afternoon. BBC Monitoring is the article. I believe that U.S. President Donald Trump is not worthy of any message exchange. Because did you hear that they would talk to the Supreme Leader directly? Well, this was his response. I'll read it again. I believe the U.S. President Donald Trump is not worthy of any message exchange, and I do not have or will never have any answer for him. Well, that's why the president probably said what he said this morning. Okay, sleep well. Good luck. Apparently, the U.S. is not willing to lift any economic sanctions on Iran. This is just a comment. if the current negotiations succeed from the American perspective, it would only lead to removing the threat of the military attack against Iran and not removal of sanctions. Peace through strength. No talk about sanctions being lifted. That's not happening. That is not happening. This is an unacceptable position, according to Iran. Any deal must include the guarantee removal of all economic sanctions. Simply not going to war won't cut it. You keep thinking that's going to happen. So if it's not going to cut it, why meet in Geneva? Why? Because the other Arab states are telling you to keep going to these meetings? Because Rubio said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, if the Ayatollah said he wanted to meet with President Trump, the president would meet him. And then the Supreme Leader came out with that statement. I would never message him. Well, there you go. Oh well. So yeah, now all eyes are on Geneva. Good luck. Let's see what this one's putting out. I don't even know what the hell that is. For the first time in history, Saudi Arabia has appointed a Shia cabinet minister. Axios, this was yesterday. There's zero chance Iran will agree to anything the U.S. is proposing, an American official said. So what's the sense? Cray-cray. It is cray-cray. And they're all talking about Geneva. And again, another pro-regime platform is saying the same thing. This was yesterday. Apparently, the U.S. is not willing to lift any economic sanctions on Iran. If the current negotiations succeed, from the American perspective, it would only lead to removing the threat of a military attack against Iran, not the removal of sanctions. And they repeat the same thing. It won't cut it. So both of these platforms are pretty much regurgitating and repeating the same thing. That's it. Yeah, a lot of gas leaks. Dusty provided a video yesterday of something going on again. A lot of gas leaks. What's going on with these gas leaks? Let's see what you guys are saying in chat. BBC's related to CNN. CNN is there. I wonder what kind of deal they struck to be in Tehran. Oh my gosh. Those big booms going off must be gas leaks, right? It is a lose-lose deal, though. In practical terms, like Tusi's been saying, and I agree, it's lose-lose. It's pretty much surrender. So, in their eyes, in their view, well, we're not going down without a fight. Pretty much. We're going to unleash everything we got toward Israel. Well, maybe not everything, but most of our inventory, our arsenals, heading toward Israel. Like I've been saying this. If we go down, you're coming down with us. Or use it or lose it. That's why you got to be... This is tense right now, because after that Geneva meeting, it's like somebody jumped on my roof. After that Geneva meeting, we're going to know. At least we are going to know where this goes moving forward. More negotiations, no negotiations, talk of a deal being made. These are the scenarios, the latter being unlikely. I don't even think the first one is likely. More meetings? I don't think so. We're going to find out. And by next weekend, the carrier will be there. So Tuesday can be a very important, crucial day, critical, on how this moves forward. It may not. We got to wait and see. Man, I thought the IRGC was landing on my house ready to come and get me. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was like something big noise on my roof. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, all of you. Prime Minister Arish is on his way to meet with Foreign Ministers of Oman. Yeah, Oman is going to be the mediator again in Geneva. And could you imagine that? All right, tell us what you want to say. Okay, I'm going to carry the message now to the Americans. This is their response. Okay, you ready? I'm going to bring it back to them. Give me a break. Instead of sitting down face to face, they can't sit down face to face. The Americans would. The Iranians don't want to. They have to call Mossad. They know how to fix. Oh my God, who said that? Who just made me laugh? It's Petros, of course. Yeah, right? I'm sure the Mossad would quickly figure out how those gas leaks. Another sound. Do I need to go outside and check what's going on? It's a little unnerving now. Yeah, we can fix those gas leaks really quick. We know exactly how to fix those gas leaks. We know the cause. Oh my God. But look, I'm using humor. This is not funny though. Let's just be clear. This is not funny. But I mean, you started this, Petros. You started this, just so you know. Do you reckon Israel survives an Iranian retaliation? Yes, but I'm really concerned about dirty. That's like I say it over and over. That's the one thing that I'm concerned about. There's no doubt the regime falls. The IRGC is going to get decimated. The concern is Israel. That's where I'm really concerned, because it doesn't take many, even just one. God forbid, one dirty bomb. Then it's really gonna, I mean, I'm afraid to even think what Israel's reaction would be on something like that. And this is where things could really, really, really get out of hand real fast. Forget about, the threat, because I've been doing a lot of research. They even have planes that can knock out their drones and systems. We have it. They don't know what's coming. They think they got all these things that are going to hit the fleet. They have a surprise coming to them. I am definitely concerned about the fleet. But my real concern, and of course, it's as an American, the men and women that are serving in the military, of course. Bases everywhere. But I think the real high risk here is to Israel. The potential. That's why you've got to go in there, constant barrage. I mean, constant waves, and take out. And because they have the intelligence, they're watching. They know if they know where the Ayatollah's sleeping, they know where where they've been moving their assets, their mobile missiles, and all this stuff. They know what they're going to hit. It's all about how much can Iran get in the air before they wipe them out. Or does Iran do a preliminary strike, an overwhelming launch, knowing they're going to go down anyway? Use it or lose it scenario. So there's definitely risk involved. In any kind of confrontation like this, there's risk. Always. Doesn't matter. Petros, you're funny. Sounds like a diversion. Insult to have nothing of substance to say. What's going on? I missed something. I wasn't really paying attention to chat. But just as long, I have a meeting in 30 minutes. I have a very important meeting at 12, but I'll be back later. everybody just hang in there. Be respectful, like we always say. Again, people, he's just, I get it. Petros is responding, Israel will not have problem about Iran's retaliation. The most of the long-range missiles destroyed. Well, careful on that necessarily, Petros. Because they, both sides learned lessons from 12 Day. They know what got through the fast ones. They know which ones they're focused on trying to target Israel with now. Hypersonics is a different ball game. So it only takes, like I said, one of these hypersonics armed with something bad. And their main focus is Tel Aviv and Haifa. I mean, you got to be very careful here. Because even Israel is saying they've rebuilt their stockpile anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200. It's almost back to where it was before, prior to 12 Day. So they did take out a lot, but they've also rebuilt and upgraded their equipment. So we have to be careful with that. The only thing is, on the one side you have, let's say, the potential for missiles, but Iran's air defenses are weak, to say the least. They will lose air superiority within hours. So they're open. They are open for being targeted by the U.S. especially. And Israel's going to play a part in it, of course, but they have no defense. Israel has defense. Iran doesn't. They don't even have an air force, if you consider that an air force. They are defenseless in Iran. They will be defenseless within hours. It happened in the 12 Day. Israel controlled the skies. But now, that was Israel. Now the United States is involved with all these forces. They are so toast. They're toast. Because that's the first thing you're going to do, is establish air superiority over Iran. You're going to take out the radar. You're going to take out all that infrastructure for defense. Tracer fire ain't cutting it. They are definitely vulnerable. And Israel is vulnerable to a missile attack. Though they have quite the defense, but is it 100% perfect? No. So you got to look at it from both sides, to be fair. And that's true. Defenseless means nothing to lose, even more scary. That is correct. That's why I say, even though I can't even say it's unlikely at this point. You never know if Iran might make the first strike, knowing they have nothing to lose, because they're going to lose it all anyway. Might as well, like I said, use it or lose it. That's a scary scenario. That there's no doubt about that. The carrier will run dry in 3 days. What do you mean run dry? You don't think they have supply ships? It's ships that resupply them with weapons, munitions. They got supply ships. They're not going to run dry. How are they going to run dry? This is going to be possibly weeks of operation. They have a lot of assets in the region right now. They're not going to run dry in 3 days. Maybe in 3 weeks. How would the foreign minister's meeting with the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency be beneficial? I don't see how it is. I mean, I have the reports. I've downloaded them. Dusty helped me find some too. He's in chat. Hello, Candace. Good morning. They have been, I mean, uncooperative to say the least for decades when it comes to the IAEA. For decades. You have to see the reports. They cut the security cameras. They got rid of some, the people that were there on the ground, inspectors, denying them access to other locations. I mean, they can't even get access to the areas that were hit during Midnight Hammer. So this has been going on for decades. How is anything going to change with the IAEA? Like something automatically is gonna, wow, look at this change all of a sudden. No, not happening. Not happening. Like I said, I could show you the report that's even more alarming than some of the things we hear about now. Decades worth. And they don't know where the material or the equipment is. They have no idea from 3 or 4 older sites in Iran. This goes back decades. And that's probably when you hear, oh, they could have had a weapon 20 years ago. It was around that time because there was stuff missing. And what did they do with it? They could have had the ability to build a bomb back then because nobody knows where it is. That's when you hear, well, 20 years ago, Netanyahu said this. Yeah, because shit disappeared. They couldn't trace it. They didn't have no idea where the hell the material went. And it was highly enriched uranium. Nobody knows where it went. That's why Netanyahu raised that flag 20 years ago. And to this day, they still don't know where it is in the IAEA report. They admit it. Because a lot of people like to throw that one out. Well, 20 years ago, they said they were going to have a nuclear bomb. What happened? Nobody knows, because nobody knows where the material went. It's crazy. I'm going to see if I have the report. I don't know. I have the PDFs. I downloaded them. And I do have to go in about a half hour. I have a meeting. Okay, here. Right here is one. This was last year. I want to make this larger. So, research is important. Facts matter. This isn't now. This has been going on for decades. I'm going to make this document a little larger so you can read it. Oh, now it wants me to do some crazy thing. What the hell was that? Where'd the document go? Oh, there's more stuff coming out too. Can only imagine. Let me try to open it again. Here we go. Why is it making me try to sign into this? Adobe expired. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Let me open it up with a different document. I don't know if this will open it, but it's really important to see. Yeah, this is good. This will work. I always try to grab as much information, facts, documents. This was last year, right before the 12 day, right before Midnight Hammer. And it goes all the way back to the resolution. And they also are part of the NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty, which they have to abide to. I'm just going to get to that part. Look at this. Just look at what it says. The agency verified on this date. Remember that deal that they signed? The monitoring? The JCPOA? They monitored Iran's implementation of nuclear-related commitments in accordance to that JCPOA. From May 8, 2009 onwards, however, Iran stopped implementing its nuclear-related commitments under the JCPOA on a step-by-step basis until the 23rd of February 2021. It stopped implementing them altogether, including the additional protocol. As a result, Iran no longer allows the agency to conduct the following verification and monitoring activities in relation to the JCPOA. Monitor or verify Iran's production and stocks of heavy water. Verify that the use of shielded cellular locations, blah, 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 blah. I mean, look at all the things that they stopped. Perform daily access upon request to the enrichment facilities at Natanz and Fordo. Which ones were hit? They stopped them from monitoring it. Implement continuous monitoring to verify that all centrifuges and associated infrastructure and storage remains in storage or have been used to replace failed or damaged centrifuges. Look at all the things that they went against. Everything. Everything. So what is the use of the IAEA? Tell me the use of the IAEA when they can't even get past this. There's so many. So many. So you're going to trust them on a nuclear deal? No. They have a track record. I mean, it's incredible. And this one isn't even talking about the locations. It all breaks it down. And this is, there's a lot of information here. But this one doesn't really get into the missing stuff from the early 2000s, which I do have that document too. But this goes into detail. This is a big document. Look, the agency summary. The verification monitoring has been seriously affected by the cessation of implementation by Iran of its nuclear-related commitments under the JCPOA. The situation has been exacerbated by Iran's subsequent decision to have all of the agency's related surveillance and monitoring equipment removed. Removed. Iran's decision to remove all of the agency's equipment previously installed in Iran for JCPOA-related surveillance and monitoring activities has also had detrimental implications for the agency's ability to provide assurance of peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. It has been more than 4 years since Iran stopped provisionally applying its additional protocol. Therefore, through this period, Iran has not provided updated declarations and the agency has not been able to conduct complementary access to any sites or other locations in Iran. They have no clue. And we're supposed to trust the deal? Using the IAEA as a monitoring agency? No, absolutely not. No. And here's another thing that I hope this is the other document that shows what I want to show you. Because a lot of people aren't aware of this part. I hope this is the proper document. Let me get rid of this one. Is it this one? Yeah, this might be it. Let me just double check it. I'll just put it on the screen anyway, as I'm skimming through it. I believe this is the other document. Yes. Comprehensive evaluation of the 4 locations. This goes back in time. June 2004. Alleged nuclear-related activities and the possibility of a concealment effort through the demolition of the buildings at that location. Iran stated that no nuclear material declarable in accordance with the agency safeguards was present and that no nuclear material and nuclear activities related to fuel cycle were carried out at this site. But that's contrary to what the findings were. It gets into this whole thing. It's unbelievable. The agency asked Iran a number of questions pursuant to the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. This is different. This has to do with the non-proliferation related to this possible undeclared nuclear material and nuclear-related activities. No response was received from Iran. Look how far back this goes. And to this day, in 2019, they tried to get information on something that happened in 2004. Further to its previous reporting, the agency has been able to determine that based on the evaluation of all safeguard relevant information, an aforementioned natural uranium was drilled, processed, and used in the production of explosively driven neutron sources. So these EDNS use small quantities of natural depleted uranium are designed to initiate a nuclear device by producing neutrons in response to an imploding shockwave. So they were doing this shit back in 2004. And there's other sites. They don't even know where this ended up. They have no track. They have no record of where this stuff went. None. They're trying. Here's another site. Marin consists of two proximate areas, an explosives test area and an associated support area. This is another area. They have no clue what the hell came out of it. Varamin, another one. There's 4. And this one. They have no idea where the equipment or any of the resources went. Zero. Iran is not cooperating with this. So when we hear about these stories about a deal and this, look, cooperation between Iran and the agency. Look, agency has a right and obligation to ensure that safeguards will be applied to such material. Iran therefore has a legal obligation to respond to the agency's questions regarding possible undeclared nuclear material or facilities. However, in a number of respects, as outlined in the report, its cooperation with the agency has been less than satisfactory. Withdrawal of designation of experienced inspectors, sanitization activities, cleaning up. Look at the dates. I mean, these go back. These are undeclared. We don't even know. So what are we supposed to do? Have a deal with them on nuclear? They've been doing this for decades. And this has to do with the NPT, the non-proliferation. This is different. And I'm trying to see the summary because the summary overall assessment. The analysis of all available safeguard relevant information and the lack of answers and clarifications provided by Iran to the agency's questions related to these 3 locations has led the agency to conclude that these 3 locations and other possibly related locations were part of an undeclared structured nuclear program carried out by Iran until the early 2000s and that some activities used undeclared nuclear material. Having evaluated all available safeguards, including information provided by Iran, information from safeguard activities conducted by the agency, and blah, 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 the agency assesses that Iran retained unknown nuclear material and or heavily contaminated equipment and other assets arising from the former undeclared structured nuclear program at Turkuzabad in the period between 2009 to 2018, after which items were removed from the location. The agency has no credible indications of an ongoing undeclared structured nuclear program of this type described above in Iran, and notes that the statement of the highest officials in Iran. So they don't even know. They don't even know where this stuff went. They have no clue. So everybody talks about the stuff that's going on with Natanz and Fordo and all this. What about these places? We don't even know where this shit went. They were undeclared. That's in the shadows. That's in the shadows. That's why it's important to read some of this stuff and see specifics. The IAEA's been, and the MPT, decades. No news from Tusi yet. He'll go on soon. Oh, good for him that he's enjoying a holiday in Munich. I bet you he's glad he's out of the UK right now and relaxing a little bit with his wife. I mean, really? He needs that break away. I mean, really. So, obviously, you can look at these documents. You can go and obtain them and read them for yourselves because they're extensive. It would take a while to go through all of it. But you get an idea. This has been going on for a long time. This isn't like the last year, 5 years. This has been going on for decades. So you're going to trust having another deal? What's going to make this deal, let's just say, any different from past deals? Who is going to go in there and monitor? Are they going to allow the United States to monitor every site, everywhere in their country? Or are they going to depend on an international organization to be the monitors? Well, it didn't work with the IAEA. And the IAEA is always coming out with stuff, Grossi saying stuff like, oh, they're saying they're going to give us access. Oh, now they are. But why don't you tell people what they've been doing for decades and disarming equipment, cameras, security, telling your people to get out, giving you no access, like in the report. What's going to change? Oh, now because they know they're in a certain position, now they're talking a different tune? Give me a break. How naive can you be? Exactly. Deals are a waste of time. It has not worked for decades. And like I said, people always refer to that. Well, I gotta go in a few minutes. I got a meeting. I just got a message. It's not gonna change. And yes, 20 years ago, there was a concern, and Israeli intelligence picked up on this, and that's why Netanyahu made statements. They may be close to producing a bomb because we don't know where this material is, and he was right. Because they still, to this day, are not getting any answers regarding those undisclosed locations and what was going on there, the nuclear material and the equipment that was used there. They're not giving no answers on something that happened decades ago. So who knows? You think that we know everything that they have? Do you literally believe we think we know everything they've done? And everything is accounted for? Absolutely not, because even the IAEA says we cannot account. We can account for the 400 plus, but we can't account for other stuff that could be out there. What does that mean? You know what I mean? And good morning to everybody. So, yes, we know they're a theocracy. But this is serious stuff. And you know that the United States is aware of it, Israel's aware of it. They know. And that's why they have to be prepared for any possible scenario. That is quite alarming. You should read the report. You can go to the IAEA, or I think it's I don't know what the site is for. Dusty, you had those sites. And hello to those in India. Exactly, Becky. Time delay benefits both sides. The pushing it down the line, It works for both sides. It's not just one-sided. Both sides. They get to prepare better. They're getting more equipment sent in from China, Russia. We're getting our assets in place to carry at least one more that we know of. And let's see what happens in Geneva. I would say I'm not expecting anything, really. Iran might try to play the game like, we've had constructive conversations with the Americans and we're hoping to have another negotiation next week, or no. And I hope that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff put their foot down representing the president and saying, listen, this is the deal. These are the terms. Either you take it, there is no compromise on these issues here. If you don't take this deal, we're done talking. End of story. That's it. It's an ultimatum. Take it or leave it. No sugarcoating. No sugarcoating. Enough of the sugarcoating. The sugar's piling up. No more. It's time. It's go time. Either way, it's go time. And I played the clip yesterday. The president said regime change. That would be the best thing. Regime change. One thing is for sure, Bill has enough Red Bull. Yes, I do. It's actually not Red Bull, though. It's another brand, but yes, I'm ready. We're going to be streaming for hours and hours. Potentially. When the regime won't be in the room with Americans talking through mods? I know, that's just ridiculous. I said that earlier. How do you just pass messages between? What, you can't do it on Zoom? Or on a phone? Or whatever? Come on, please, really? What the hell? Like, even if they had interpreters in each room, but have like a monitor talking to each other? It's so ridiculous. Like a messenger person going room to room, bringing back messages. That is laughable. Really. Easy for you to talk like a tough guy. Who's talking like a tough guy? These are just the facts of what's going on right now. Iran will experience shock and awe when we come on three sides. Yes, Armenia. And what was the other place? Azerbaijan? Let's see, I am back with lots of ammunition. Ada, hello. Good morning. Or actually, it's good afternoon to you. Communications can be hacked is why. So what? Conversations are being had. Who's going to hack them? The Israelis? They want to know what's going on in the meetings? I guess. Security protocol. Then why don't you just meet face to face and stay on the opposite side of the room while the other one's on the other side of the room? They can't meet face to face? Really? Makes no sense. You need a mediator? Does that make you feel better? More comfortable? You can't sit down face to face with interpreters there? That's too difficult to do? You despise the other side so much you can't sit there and act humane and calm? Really? You can't be in the same room? How do you negotiate even under those terms? I guess you can, right? Through mediators? Becky says, they're not really talking, so hacking would be disappointing. But not for nothing, it does make sense for security protocol. You don't want to have other people, listening in to discussions. Because they would love to know what the actual discussions are. So that does make sense. So we'll see. We'll see how Geneva goes. And I guess we'll find out Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening. Local time. I do not know how far ahead Eastern Geneva. Alexa, what time is it in Geneva, Switzerland?
It's 5:40 p.m. in Geneva, Switzerland.
All right, so it's 6 hours. So by noon Tuesday here would be 6 p.m. there. We might have word by noon Eastern Tuesday, the result of the so-called meeting. Because the United States is also meeting in Geneva with Ukrainian and Russian officials as well. It's not just Iran. They're meeting with them as well. So I don't know how much time they're going to put. Is it going to be a morning meeting with the Iranians or a morning meeting with the Russian and Ukrainian delegation? Or they set one for the afternoon, to balance it out. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Who knows? So we'll see. Like I said, it's like right now things are quiet because everybody's waiting to see the results of this. Meanwhile, the carrier's on its way, at least one. Do not be surprised there's two on the way. Confirmation, the president even said there's one on the way to join the Lincoln. I wouldn't be surprised there's a second coming. As you might think that's crazy, but there could be another one heading there too. Just saying. I wouldn't discount. Yeah, it does feel like the calm before the storm. It does, literally. But I got to bail out now because I got to go to a meeting. So keep an eye out for Tusi. I'm sure Goldie's going to do a lot of recapping of all the rallies that were going on around the world yesterday. She was there in Toronto, so I'm sure she has a lot to discuss. I don't know if she's live right now, but she will be because she's probably got a lot to cover. I'm going to check Goldie. See if she should be live soon, if not already. I would think she's live. You guys could help me out on that. And yeah, I have a work meeting, a work-related meeting. Live. Let's see if Goldie's got something scheduled. She's not live yet. She will be. And anything on Tuesday? No? Oh yeah, that's right. You said that he's enjoying the weekend with his wife in Munich. Good for them. I hope they enjoy themselves. They deserve to after everything they're going through too. We all need that time. We all need that time. If we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't do the other things to help other people. You have to look out for yourself before you can actually help others. You have to. And they have to do that for themselves, They gotta take some time out for themselves because they're probably under so much stress. And it's good for them to take that time and enjoy Munich and meeting people. Who knows? Maybe he's sitting down with Reza Pahlavi. Maybe they're going to lunch together. Or now it would be dinner. Or maybe they had lunch today. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, see you later, alligator. Everybody, my love to you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. I'll be back later. If anything really important, I'll be on ASAP. But all of you have a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Keep an eye out for Goldie and Tusi. And you all have a great rest of your week.